Hello, welcome to another angling blog. It's a session today, silver fishing. The pike fishing has been the hardest since I started. I must have had 50 fish by the time we were halfway through November. I had a flurry with that 17, but it has been so hard. All the spots that normally produce just aren't showing. I got speaking to a guy in the tackle shop the other day. He was the same. My mate the same, and my other mate the same. They're just not in the spots where they normally would be. The dace are not showed up in the numbers that they would be yet, or the big dace or the big roach are not on the rivers. Where, don't get me wrong, a lot of fish are showed up, but they're not the big boys that normally appear. They're just not in the normal spots, and I think it's because it's so up and down. The temperatures are so dramatic. I mean, like, it was -4 the other day, 2 days ago, and today we're looking at 7-8 degrees. Do you know what I mean? It's fish don't have seasons. They don't have like a calendar as such. They work on the temperature. So I imagine when they feel a few days of warmth, they think it's February and it's time. And we all know what happens with the pike in February. They just disappear, don't they? So I imagine it's as hard for them as it is for us trying to work out where they are. But that's another story. Today it's a session on the river. I would imagine it's going to be grayling, dace and chub. If you get on the chub, you can have a very special net. I mean, my uncle certainly had a good net the other week. But we'll see. You know, there can be funny fish on this river. They're either, you can go sometimes and bag up and you can stand in your footprints the next day and not get a bite. That's how the difference of a day can be on it. So I'm excited. I've cut my gear right back. Literally my rod, bank sticks, landing net, tackle on my box, and me hold all that, me net bag, and that is all I've got. So fingers crossed we have a good day, and I'll catch you when we get onto the bank. Right, so just got on the river to it now. As I say, you know, with rivers it's different kettle of fish to, you know, your commercial fishing and stuff like that. Steep banks, a nice snag downstream to trot down to. So hopefully, you know, dace, grayling, and hopefully if 1 or 2 chub be today's target, but we'll see. Right, before I set up, just go over how I'm going to set up today. It's going to be a 10 number 4 stick float. We start off with a hook length of £2. As I say, I know there's some chub in the river, so I want a bit. Normally start 1.7 bottom, but 2.1 a bit more power. If I start getting snapped, then obviously I'll have to go straight through. I want to start today on a size 16 hook because I've got corn as a change bait. With maggots and castor and plenty of hemp as well. So start off on a biggish hook, and I say if I'm not getting bites, then I've got 18s and 20s. You'll notice they're all Kamzan. The hooks that I've got confidence in, they're strong basically. These ones especially, these ones are really strong hooks, and they're a bigger size 18 and a bigger size 20 than you would normally get. I wouldn't use these on the canal because they are like, that's a size, what, 16 in any other hook, I would say. They're big hooks. But today it's winter, the fish hopefully will be hungry, and hopefully you need a strong hook because, as I say, there's a snag in the swim. It's holding them and trying to get them upstream to net them. But that's going to be my setup for today, and I'm going to get to it now because I can't wait to get started. Right, a little tip for when, you know there's chub in the swim is, if you're going to stay in the same swim, that is the biggest disturbance that you'll make setting up. You know what I mean? I'm miles behind the bank here. There's a big clump of grass covering me when I'm setting up. But the biggest disturbance you'll make is that going in. And then obviously the way he's setting up the bank. So my rod's set up now, so basically the rod will go down there. My net's already down there. I'll go down with my basket, put my basket on, grab my rod, and I'm fishing. It's all done in one trip. So you're just making one big disturbance, and you got the rest of the day to try and lure some fish out of that. Big snag. Now there's obviously two trains of thought with chub fishing. One is travel light, try every swim. Both are all sit in the same swim. I'm a no, travel the river first time, find where the chub are. Once you know where there's a shoal, they'll generally be there every time you go. New river to me, but that's how it's been on every other river I've gone. So I can't see why it'd be any different on this one. And we've had chub here before, so these should be still here. Let's get to it. There's the first chub of the day. I'd say between 3 and, well, it might be even £4 that one. I've not got my scales today, but yeah, it took about half an hour for the first bite to come, but that's the first one on the bank. It was a great fight. It's second chub of the day. Change over to double maggot. Yeah, just going to get it back now. Took a couple of picks, so get it back. Another small little chublet. Third fish of the day. Again, this one's a lot smaller, about £1.5. But again, proving you don't need big hooks. Well, it's a size 16, it's bigger than I normally use, but it'd be the same on an 18 over 20. Using a 16 today because baits like corn and double caster and double maggot, you need to keep changing them. But yeah, that is about £1, I would say. I get it back now. Right, just put that chublet back, and we're about an hour and a half into the session. I've had 3 bites and 3 chub. What I would say, it's very clear already that I'm chub fishing. I would have thought by now I'd have had a day sort of roach of doing about. It's pretty evident now that I'm maybe a grayling, maybe I might get, or trout, but it feels like I'm chub fishing, just chub fishing. I've got plenty of bait, but I'm not going to go mad. I'm just going to keep tickling it over. I'm going to rest the swim for 5 minutes now. It was only a small chub like that, but it will spook them. Keep feeding it, and then go through. But maybe the last hour I might, start, as we say, wonging it in, like putting a lot of bait in. But I'm just going to keep trickling it in now. So that's, three fish, and I would say getting on for £9 or £10. Weight wise, I haven't got my scales, but I'm just going to go on what I know from previous sessions. And again, just going to keep trickling away and see what we go at. I would say about the Acolyte so far, I've only had small fish on it so far. It's a test with it today because there's snags and everything, and so far, it's been a few early moments, but so far I've been impressed with it. It's, the power that it's had. We'll see by the end of the day if I've got a 3-piece rod or a 2-piece rod, but yeah, so far it's been good. Right, I'm going to get back to it. That's first trot through after going for a walk and resting the swim. Beverage straight away on the hemp. It just shows, what's that? Probably £2, maybe £1.50. And that's straight away, first trot through, bang, right on the hemp. So it just shows resting the swim can work, and that's the 4th chub of the day. As I say, just all chub so far. Right, as I say, just got back from a walk and had one straight away, and the next trot down, another one. And as I say, have a bruiser, a cracking fight on the Acolyte, which is shocking me today. As I said, only had small fish so far on it, so yeah, just going to get this one back. It's number 5 of the day, I think. Chub number 6 of the day. As I say, that's 3 since I rested the swim, and it feels like they're in the swim now. I mean, like, that's got to be best part of £2 or £3. That chub, it's massive. It's a big one for me anyway. Not maybe for not some of you guys down who specimen fish for them, but that's a proper chub. It's like a barrel. So it's been an enjoyable day's fishing so far. That's the final net. 6 chub. I think 2 grayling in the end. And I say they're nice chub. But yeah, got slow in the afternoon, but yeah, good sport. I'm going to get these guys back now.